right. Hello and welcome to episode 61 of the Rhody Rumble podcast. Today I'm joined by Rhode Island men's basketball guard Ishmael Leggett. Ish, appreciate you taking the time to join me. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Doing well, doing well. Thank you again. First off, I just want to ask, how your summer is going. What ways you've been preparing for this upcoming season.
Summer's been going pretty well. We just got a little month break off, so staying in the gym, staying in shape, and I'm looking forward to the season for sure. It's going to be an exciting one.
Definitely. You're back home in the DMV?
Yeah.
Okay, got you. So how's that been? Just returning home, obviously a big season upon you. Getting a little break, but staying active.
All right. I just been working a bunch of camps for high school, just working out every day pretty much. And like I said, staying in shape, staying strong. Everything now is gonna definitely prepare me for the season, this upcoming season. So what I'm doing now, prepping my body, prepping my mind, everything is gonna come in and handy for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So how I do this is really I just kind of go year by year and talk up to where you are now in your career. But first I
Right.
want to ask a question that I love to ask to, all the guests that I've had on the show, and that's really, what is your why or what motivates you?
What motivates me is definitely my dad for sure, my family, and just my love for the game. Well, my love for the game really comes from my pops, to be honest. So I can just answer that by saying my family and my dad. They just motivate me to keep going, keep pushing. Every day when things get hard, just they're my why. They're the reason that I strive for greatness every day.
Yeah, that's great. I ask that question to everyone, and they always talk about how important family is, both on and off the court. And
Right.
really, you wouldn't be there without family. So, it's a
Hmm.
great answer. I do want to ask, before we get into a little bit of your playing career, I know you've recently been raising money and awareness for the electronic speaking device for your father, and
Yeah.
aphasia. So, I know you guys raised $25,000 in just 1 month back in April. I'd love if you could just share real quick how people who may be watching this at home in the Rhody community, how they can, support this amazing cause.
All the support that's been brought to my dad's fundraiser has definitely helped. We reached our goal and we were able to buy the Toby Donavox device, which is his speaking device, and it went pretty well. He enjoys it. It helps him communicate, and he definitely enjoys it. We also were able to get his customized wheelchair, which we're still setting up now. It's a pretty hefty wheelchair, so we'll probably be done in about a couple of days, but those two devices is going to make his life much easier. He'll be able to be more mobile instead of just being in his room all day. He'll be able to communicate more effectively. And those are the things that we focused on for him just to get him to some type of normalcy back to his regular life. So
Yeah,
everybody who donated, everybody who showed love and sent prayers, we all saw it, and we all appreciate you guys for definitely showing love and supporting him, and raising awareness for aphasia as well.
yeah, of course. And the Rhody community is so strong when it comes to things like that. I immediately retweeted everything like that. I think I might have actually donated
So
myself, but yeah, no,
appreciate it. Thank you.
of course, of course. I'm glad to see that you guys are, obviously supporting that great cause and that he's going to be back to somewhat of normalcy and hopefully down courtside supporting you this season at the Ryan Center. I know that would definitely be special. But
For sure.
I want to jump in a little bit of, sort of your upbringing, how you got into basketball, and then, obviously get into URI. So I know you grew up in Washington, D.C., and really the DMV area. I'm curious, how you got involved in the sport of basketball from a young age. Was that, something that sort of evolved over time, or did you have a mentor that kind of pushed you along the way?
Well, actually, I was born in Washington D.C. I grew up in Maryland. I just
Okay.
went to school in D.C. throughout my high school career, but my dad definitely put the ball in my hands at a very young age, and I just fell in love with it ever since. Like we shared our love for basketball, and that's where we really bonded and connected. That's why I was so close to him, and still am so close to him. We still share that love. But as far as mentors, definitely my father, and just seeing his love for the game, it really just like made me want to be good at it. It made me want to work towards uh, it made me want to work towards just being good at what we both shared our love for. So that being with that comes just everyday consistency, determination. He definitely instilled that in me, and yeah, I definitely say he's one of my biggest role models, mentors in my life for sure.
Yeah, and it's really that mentality of just that hard work is going to pay off. And I think no matter what you're going to get into, whether it's basketball or something else, even broadcasting or anything like that, to have a mentor or a coach along the way, or even a family member is so often your mentor. That
Right.
really gives you motivation towards achieving and living up to what they accomplished. And I certainly see that you're doing that. So that's incredible. I
For
think
sure.
another thing about basketball, and I've talked to so many past and present URI basketball players, is that it just brings so many people together. It brings a sense of
Most
community.
definitely.
So that's so special, and I think it's great that you're a part of that. I definitely want to get into a little bit of your high school, career, before we jump into URI. But I guess we'll start with high school. You went to St. John's College Prep, which is
Yeah.
actually alma mater of former head coach David Cox and former Ram Jeff Dowtin. I
Hmm.
have a few stats here. You helped the team lead to the finals in 2019, the semifinals in 2020, and you spent time with
Right.
Team Durant on the AAU circuit there. I should also mention you came out of high school a three-star recruit. Can you share a little bit about, I guess, that experience coming out of high school, and maybe dive into a little bit of your high school experience, how you were recruited by URI and at the time, Coach Cox?
Right. Coming out of the WCAC, which is the conference St. John's in, it definitely prepared me for college basketball for sure. I mean, I tell people all the time, like WCAC is one of the best basketball conferences in the world. To be honest, like the talent the DMV brings, and especially that conference. If you get out of there unscathed, then you'll definitely have a chance to be a good college D1 athlete for sure. And I say it molded me. It molded me just to be consistent. I mean, working at something every day, whether you want to or not, like consistency and it definitely helped me just be more consistent and it tested me. I mean, everybody's good when things are going well for them, but when it's 5:30 and you have to wake up for your 6:30 lift before school, like not a lot of people can do that every day.
Right.
So it definitely tested me, and that definitely carried over into my college career, just being tested, being able to overcome obstacles for sure. Like once you get used to it and once you make it something that you have to do and not like you think twice about, like you just instantly become like unstoppable in my opinion. But the conference definitely shaped me for Rhode Island, the A10, and just the connections St. John's has with Rhode Island. Just it drove me to definitely take them into consideration when making my decision to commit. Jeff Dowtin, Coach Cox. There's a bunch of guys, a bunch of outstanding guys who have been through that program and who have been in that environment and were able to be successful. And that's that's what we all want out of this basketball, this life thing, is to be successful. So seeing other people do it from my environment, from the St. John's environment, and making it happen on a coaching level, a D1, a pro level, like it drives you to definitely want to be a part of that, just to be somebody out of St. John's who made it happen. So other
Right.
people, younger people, older people, they can look at that and be like, wow, he did that. Like I was in his class, maybe I could do that too.
Yeah.
So for sure, I mean, like St. John's definitely shaped me in a great way to be prepared for academics and athletics as far as Rhode Island goes. So I think it was a great transition and it was just a great fit overall.
Yeah, and I think just being in that environment and seeing, what Coach Cox did. I believe he was the principal way back.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So seeing what he was able to do there, and then go off to Rhode Island. The same thing with Jeff Dowtin. You
Hmm.
obviously hear about these people. You obviously see it. And you're, I guess, surrounded by it a little bit. So I guess
Right.
it was almost a little bit of a no brainer when you got offered by URI, and you saw everything that the campus had to offer. That you were
Hmm.
going to come to URI. What did
Right.
you love about the campus specifically? Was it the Ryan Center, the facilities, or really just location or anything in particular?
When I first came to visit, definitely the facility stood out to me. Just the family atmosphere, like
Mm,
Rhode Island just loves sports, and I
yeah,
love sports too. So that's something we connect on for sure. And facilities, just family atmosphere. They were all about hoops, man. I just felt at home when I visited, and that was the only visit my dad was able to attend. So it was just big for the whole family that he was able to get on that 8 hour long train and make it down there. Make it
yeah.
down there. And it made it even special, even more special that he was just down there with me to enjoy the whole process. So that
Yeah.
was big for me. And I enjoyed the conversations I had with the coaches were definitely something that played a big part in my decision. Just hearing that they were going to get me better and hearing that they had a plan for me, that was big. Like a lot of schools, they just recruit you, but they don't really have a plan for you. They don't want to invest their time in you. And Rhode Island definitely did that, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to still be here and be able to compete.
Yeah, no, that is special, to get your dad there on that visit. And just to hear that, I think that's so important when we talk about, committing you're not only committing to play for the university, but you're committing your time, you're committing pretty much everything coming out of
Right.
high school, that you're putting all your, marbles in the basket, that you're full force all in to go to URI. And it seems
Hmm.
like they really did have a plan for you, which transitions me into a little bit of the last 2 years that you've had there. First, just to start with your first year, you were a freshman, and then you went on to be a redshirt freshman because it was kind of weird with the COVID year. But you
Right.
arrived in Kingston as a freshman, 2020, 21. That season, it was weird. It was the COVID season, definitely an ugly year for the program. And I
Hmm.
think no fans packing the Ryan Center doesn't help. I
For
had the
sure.
opportunity to call 2 games. I think one of them was the VCU game, one of them was the Fordham game. VCU game was tough. That was when Bones Highland hit the shot at the end.
Right.
Um, but I think just overall, you put on a pretty good freshman campaign. Just a few stats here. You started 8 games, averaged 6.6 points, 2.6 rebounds. I love to bring up the Seton Hall game, scored 11 points, shot 4 for 4. And then the
Yep.
Dayton game, too, 18 points and 5 3-pointers as well. Just when
Hmm.
reflecting on that season, your first year of college basketball, obviously a weird one. We hope that nothing like that will ever happen again, where, social distancing and
Right.
cancellations and so many things happening with the schedule. What was the biggest lesson that you learned just from that one year?
The biggest lesson I say I learned from that year is definitely just bringing your own energy. I mean,
Mhm.
no crowd, no fans. Like it's really just you. That year, it was really just you guys versus the other team, and you really had to bring your own energy when it came down to games, when it came down to practices too, because during practices there's nobody allowed but us. So just bring
Right.
your own energy for sure. Definitely, that's something that was implemented in my mind, and I definitely keep that with me. And I learned it from the COVID year for sure. Just keep bringing my own energy to every game, every practice, every lift, every study hall, because you never know. Like it could something else could happen, and there could be no fans. So you always gotta just in order for you to never be in order for you to never be on the other side of it, you can just always bring your own energy and control what you can control.
Yeah, and I think that's so important. The last thing you said there is just learning how to adjust when things are so tough, learning how to
Right.
be flexible and, like you have to get uncomfortable to be comfortable. And obviously it's your first year, there's a lot of pressure on you. You don't really know no one really knew what was going to happen that year. Schedule
Hmm.
was like constantly changing, but I believe you guys had no positive cases throughout that entire year, that first
Right.
year. So, I mean, that's impressive. You guys were able to stay healthy. And although, maybe there weren't a lot of wins or maybe it wasn't what you were anticipating performance-wise on the court, it was definitely a special year because you guys were able to play basketball, and at the time, there really wasn't anything, for us fans to do, so, the support was there, maybe not physically, but it was there
Right.
on social media, and it was there, and I think you guys overall, just to look back on that year, that was my sophomore year, um, I was just fortunate I was able to even get to the Ryan Center and see you guys play. um,
Right.
I think, any year that there's basketball being played, whether, the team is under 500 or the best team in the conference, it's special. So,
For sure.
definitely weird. I hope we have to never go through something like that again, but
Yeah.
definitely happy that I could say that I saw you guys play that year. Um,
Most definitely.
and then just to go back, a few more questions for you. Just to go back, this past season, another season where the program struggled a little bit performance wise, definitely in conference play. You got the fans back. They're behind your back and they're supporting you in the Ryan Center.
For
You know
sure.
how much that makes an impact on the team's performance in the Ryan Center. They really get loud. Two,
Definitely.
two games I want to shout out. Um, the 20 career high 21-point game against UMass. And then
Hmm.
probably my favorite game of yours was the LaSalle game when you hit the shot at the end, the game winning layup, with
Right. For
23
sure.
seconds. So same question really, just reflecting on this year, what are your takeaways? What do you think you personally and then as a team could have improved on?
Takeaways this year is just to continue getting better. Like it's a process. You just got to know that it is a process and things don't just come overnight. So like I said earlier, just being consistent. Like my dad always taught me, just be consistent and live with the results. As long as you're consistent, you're determined, you put your all forth, then you just got to live with the results, and that's what I'm doing each and every day. So I'm just putting my best foot forward, and when it's all said and done, I just want to say I gave it all I had, and I'll just live with the results. So back to the question is just staying consistent for me is the biggest thing, and no matter ups downs, just being level headed. Because I think last year I got too low on myself when I wasn't playing well or when the team wasn't doing well. So this year I'm going to try and definitely be level headed and definitely just always have the next play mentality. Like you can't control the pass, you can't control the loss, the missed shots you just took. So it's always the next play with me. And as a team, I feel I'm excited for this year. I mean, that's really it. To be honest, I'm just super
Yeah.
excited to get on the floor with these guys. We got a couple new faces, a lot of new faces. I'm just excited to lace them up and go get after it. Go get a A10 championship. That's always the goal, and then touch the tournament. I mean, this group, I feel like is we definitely have a big chance to do that, to make some noise. When coming off last year, it wasn't as we all thought the season was going to go, but this year I feel as though we have the right pieces, and as long as you put everything together, it's looking like a bright future for Rhode Island basketball for sure.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, I was at every home game last year with student radio sitting courtside. So you guys got off to a great start actually. And then once conference play hit, it was really tough. But I'll
Right,
never forget coming back from I think it was winter break. I did the GW game and then I did a few other games and then Davidson came back around and like I really saw something that game that was different in the program. You know, I really saw that
right,
you guys kind of came together, you know, and I think Coach Cox might have said it in the press conference. It was like, you know, you faced them before, you came in with the game plan, and you pretty much just executed the same plan, and you were able
right,
to win, and I think that game really showed, like, yes, there's some struggles right now going on with the team, with the program, but they still have it, you know, there's
right.
just a few mistakes, there's still a few, you know, coachable things that could change, and they're back, you know, so, I'm a very optimistic person when it comes to, you know, watching games and stuff like that, and I think, you know, you guys will really turn the page this year, like you said, and, you know, I think you guys have a big chip on your shoulder now too, because I think there's a lot of unfinished business that you guys have to handle, and, yeah, I'm excited to see what's gonna happen. I think, like you said, a lot of new faces, but I think that's definitely gonna help, you know, the future of the team. Um,
Sure.
moving on to that, now obviously this program, you know, this offseason's gone through a major rebuilding process. First Coach Cox being let go, and then transitioning to Archie style. So with seeing a lot of players, you know, leaving the program, several came in as transfers or recruited by the current coaching staff. Initially, you had entered your name into the transfer portal, just to test the waters, you know, see what was the best decision for you and your family. What was it about Rhode Island and really just Archie Miller that led you to decide you wanted to return back to Rhody this season?
I think definitely his resume definitely spoke for itself. I
Right.
mean, he's a great coach. Nobody can argue that. And he said to me when we met that he was just gonna get me better, and he had a plan. Like I said earlier, as long as you have a plan and work is met with that plan, then great things happen. And that was pretty much the ordeal with that. I mean, we had our conversation, we had our talks, and I decided to stay. So I think it was the best decision for me, and I still do think that. So I'm excited to get it going with Coach Archie.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think you and Malik are gonna have a really great year. The fact he was able to get you guys back, I think that's gonna be really special. I was listening to Archie talk in the last press conference of the year, with when he had hired the new coaching staff, and I think one of the first things that he brought up was it's so special that we have you know Ish and Malik back, and they're gonna do big things this year. So they're really gonna be, I feel
So
like, the leaders on this team. So I'm excited to see that.
right.
Uh, just a few more questions for you. First, I have a few, you know, rapid fire questions that I just want to jump into, and then we'll wrap it up. So, yeah. So, just I mean, the first rapid fire question I have for you is just if you had to compare your game or style, you know, to any player, you know, professional level, collegiate level, who would that be and why?
I say Russell Westbrook. I'm trying to get like Drew Holiday, but I say like a Russell Westbrook, gritty guard type
Okay.
guy, and Drew Holiday, I just got to get a little bit more skill to get on his level. But I say those two combined would be a good comparison for me. Just a high energy, defensive minded skill guard for sure.
Yeah, I like that. Your go-to pregame song.
Go to pregame song. It might be an unreleased song by the Baby and Lil Baby. It's called Baby Day. So that's my go to for sure.
Okay, okay. Your best memory that sticks out to you just from playing at URI.
Best memory URI have to be sheesh, there's so many, man. I say our first win is definitely my first collegiate win is
Yeah,
even with the COVID year is just something I'll always remember, to be honest. Just being able to get on the floor and win, to be honest, is something I'll never forget.
yeah. I'm sure I hope if we ever do this again, that answer will change once you guys are in the tournament or winning an A10 title soon. But
Most definitely.
yeah, no, that's great. I feel like that's such a special moment.
Hmm.
Favorite off the court memory at URI? Some maybe you did with the team in the locker room or on the bus.
I say paintballing. It's always a good
Well,
time to go out there, go paintballing with the guys. It gets competitive and it's
yeah,
very fun. So
that's cool. You
paintballing,
guys, you guys recently did that, right?
yeah. Hmm.
That's cool. We did something like that, me and my friends, in Providence. I'm not sure. Is that where you guys went or?
Nah, we went right around the corner from campus. They have a little paintball set up.
Oh,
So
okay. Gotcha.
mhm.
Gotcha. And then the last rapid fire question I could ask you, and then one more question. Just best advice you'd give to, maybe someone watching at home, young basketball player and athlete just looking to play at the collegiate level or take on like a similar path that you took.
Uh, Best advice I give is just to trust your work. To be honest, like if if you've been in the gym and you know you could do certain things on the court, just be confident. I mean, like confidence goes a long way in basketball. Like if you work for something and you feel like you're at that level where you can show it, then showcase it for sure.
Yeah, that's great. The last question I have for you, I know you guys are coming in with with a chip on your shoulder, like I said. Definitely some unfinished business to handle this season, but is there a message you can leave, maybe the Rhody fans who might be watching this at home?
I say I just can't wait to get on the floor and enjoy these wins with the Rhody Nation for sure.
Absolutely. Ish, thank you so much for taking the time again. I'll probably be back at the Ryan Center covering a lot of your home games again.
Yeah,
Best of luck this season. Stay healthy. And of course, go Rhody.
of course. Go Rhody.